But what did you have to say about Jimbo?
That I just think that Jimmy Butler has just kind of ran its course. The Jimmy Butler train, I think it's run its course. Now, months ago, probably when we first started doing the NBA playoffs, I told you all I had Jimmy Butler in the category that I think are really good to borderline great players. I'm a tough judge. Everybody just doesn't get the great, generational, and all those tags. I'm a tough judge. But I just always see him as one of those guys that if you're telling me you're going to hitch your championship aspirations to him and your goals to him, good luck. And you could get to a finals. And think about it. They get canceled out. They get closed out on Monday. That'll be 2 finals that he's gone to. Honestly, look, that'll be 2 finals he's gone to. And he's lost them both in 5. As the guy, as the bus driver, as I see Charles Barkley up here on the TNT face-off pregame show for the Stanley Cup Finals, looking like he just got off the golf course with his horrible swing. Actually, his swing is a lot better than it used to be. But I just feel like we're kind of in this warped time zone right now of who's next. Like, someone asked me the other day, is Jokic the best player in the league? And I said, dude, right now, in my opinion, it's up for grabs. I don't have a best player in the world right now because it's up for grabs. I don't want to be a victim of the moment, even though Jokic is busting ass right now and he's just kicking the hell out of everybody. But I would like to see it for another 2 seasons and, them get to another finals or something like that. I'm not going to judge it off of 1 year. But Jimmy Butler also, too, the guy just always runs out of gas. I think about the bubble and the famous picture of him laying over the barricade because he's giving it his all. Last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, he takes the 3 even though there's an open lane for him to drive. And he said, I don't know if I had enough for overtime, so I went for the 3. And even in these games, he just looks like he's dragging down the stretch. Maybe he needs to get with LeBron to see how LeBron's only spending $1 million on his body for the last 13 years with no inflation. I want to know how he's doing that also, too. I think I have an idea, but that's another idea for another show. But I just think it's time maybe to just put a bow on the
second round Jimmy.
The playoff Jimmy. And he's had some great moments, guys.
It's a playoff still.
He's had some great moments, but at the end of the day, when you get to the pinnacle of your profession, you got to cash in. When all the chips are on the table and and the dice is being rolled and all the money's put down and nobody's holding anymore, it's all or nothing. You got to be able to cash in. And he gets beaten 5 on Monday night. Okay, where do they reset? You hear these rumors of Dame might want to go there. If you get a player like that, then you're not the guy anymore. You're number 2 now. If anybody comes in and you go down to number 2, then maybe you were never a number 1. So I think it's time to put this greatness of Jimmy Butler to bed, because even last night,
I think it's time to get him some help.
Well, here's the thing about that, and I thought about that watching the game last night when they showed Pat Riley and Zoe and Bob McAdoo sitting off to the side. They've had money, and it is an attractive destination. No state tax, South Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Coconut Grove, Miami, the ladies, the restaurants, the sun, the weather. Miami has everything. But I keep trying to figure out, then why aren't they landing the big fish free agents? Their names always mentioned, oh, they could go there, or this person can go there, or they could get this guy. Name me the last big free agent they've gone after and got. It was LeBron. The last big free agent they've gone after and got was LeBron. So I'm trying to figure out what is happening here that you can't get the top free agents, or at least the top 2 or 3 every summer to come to you. And we keep talking about how much money Miami has to spend and how much room they have. No wonder you got to keep working with undrafted guys. You can't land the big fish. That's telling. And I don't have the answer. I just proposed that question out to basketball fans, and even maybe some people, and maybe we ask Mark Medina later on, like, hey, bro, why can't Miami get the big free agent guy? And it's been about 10 years, right, since all these names every summer, Martin, keep coming up, and nobody goes there.
But the thing I would challenge is, when is the last time the major free agent signing impacted a championship? Not a trade.
Well, Durant, I think, would be the answer for that, right?
Well, and again, you said it was LeBron who was the last. Like that.
The last one that the Heat got was LeBron.
But I'm saying, but it's been a minute since. How many championships has it been since Kevin Durant decided he wanted to sign with the Warriors? And I mean, and obviously those championships the one immediately afterwards is still impacted by that decision of the season prior for him to sign.
Yeah.
But since then, we've seen, Kyrie and KD. I got two spots. In Brooklyn, and in Brooklyn, kind of, they didn't get all the way there. Like generally, I think like
James Harden's been a free agent.
But that's what I'm saying. We've seen a few different situations in which these guys who have been free agents have moved to other places and have not had success.
Well, but that's the point I'm making. Why haven't they gone down to Miami to play for? Pat Riley's been involved. I think the number, what is it, 25?
I believe it's 20. I think it's 21%.
21%.
So I don't know exactly what that number is, but it's 21%.
Yeah, of the NBA fight. Like the point I'm making is all this lore, right? Pat Riley in the Heat. Once again, everything I named that you can get in the state of Florida. Why aren't free agents flocking to want to go and play for Eric Spoelstra, who was voted a top 15 coach of all time? Pat Riley, who's running the front office, who's been involved with 25 NBA finals in his life. Why can't you go there? So to your point of they got to get Jimmy some help, I think they've tried, and I think it's a very valid question. Why are they failing? How is Kyle Lowry at 37 years old like your best pickup? And your best move Kevin Love, who can only take charges and hit open threes, he's your trade deadline move? Like, seriously, guys. And he was DNP the last 3 games, the last series. They weren't even playing
I think
him.
some of his DNP had to do with he did get hurt in that series. He had a tight back.
Yeah. Oh,
so I think that has.
So you got the old Love, right?
But I think that has something to do. I think had his back not been injured, because he came out. I want to say it was game 3 against Boston. Started the game, only played like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that had more to do with him not being on the court than ability. Because I mean, dude, you think they were looking for reasons to play Cody Zeller? You know what I'm saying?
But see, okay, but there once again, there we go. That's your backup. You can't even lure a backup center to come play for this famed Miami franchise that has all this available free agent money under the cap to get it. You'll see the same thing this summer. There'll be players available, and it's like, okay, he signed where? He signed with them? He signed with them, and no one's flocking to go play for Eric Spoelstra and for Pat Riley. So once again, to your point of they got to get Jimmy some help, how? How do they get Jimmy some help? Because they've had opportunities to get Jimmy some help, and 37 Kyle Lowry and old Kevin Love is what you've brought in. Like those are just the facts. I just think it's fascinating from the standpoint of why are people going to Miami? Like, this is crazy. They got money. You got Jimmy. You got Bam. You got Tyler Hero. You got a shooter. You got Duncan Rod. Like, you got pieces, man. Like you just said, you add somebody to that. Dame Lillard has put out the list. He's put the teams out there. Miami's on the list. The Miami Heat are on Dame Lillard's list. Let's see if he ends up there. And it's got to be through a trade. I get it. But let's see if Dame Lillard ends up there. Right? He's on the list. Miami's always on guys' list, man. They just don't end up there. So I don't think they can get help from Jimmy, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's just tough when the other superstar on the team has shot, 20 for 51 outside of the restricted area. So unless it's a dunk, we're looking at like 35%. That's not great.